Hi everyone and welcome back to HomeHeadChef. Today we're going to be making smoked pork chops. Now there's many different ways to smoke pork chops. Now this is my favorite way to do it. We're going to start by building a brine and putting our pork chops in it. And we're going to let them marinate, I want to say for a minimum of a half an hour, 2 hours. You could go overnight, but I wouldn't go any longer than that. We're going to need a few ingredients, so let's step up to the cutting board and see what we need. For this recipe, we're going to need 2 tablespoons of salt, 4 cups of warm water, 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. We're going to go with 3 cloves of garlic that we just crushed. We smashed them with our knife. That's about it. We're also going to need 3 sprigs of fresh rosemary and some pork chops. Today, I'm using some bone-in pork chops that I got from my local butcher, but you can use whatever pork chops that you have on hand. First things we're going to do, in a large bowl, we're going to add our 4 cups of warm water. We're going to add in our salt and our sugar, and we're going to mix this till it's dissolved. Once our salt and sugar is fully dissolved, we're going to add in our vinegar, our garlic, and our rosemary. We're going to stir this up just for a few seconds. Once that's done, we're going to set it aside and let it cool down slightly. The reason we don't want this too hot is because we don't want to start cooking the pork chops in our warm liquid. Now this step is optional, but I like to do it. I like to take a fork and slightly pierce my pork chops. Just like this. This is going to help the brine penetrate that meat and add those wonderful flavors deep inside. And we're going to do this on both sides, and once you have that done, we're going to add it into our marinade, our brine. We're going to submerge our pork chops into our brine. We're going to cover this with saran wrap. We're going to place it in our fridge for up to 12 hours. The longer you go, the better, I believe, but I would not surpass the 12-hour mark. Now, as our pork chops are in the brine, we're going to assemble a simple little rub for these. And for that, we're going to need 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, 1 teaspoon of paprika, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, and 1 teaspoon of onion powder. Now we're going to assemble our rub. We're just going to take all these ingredients and mix them together until they're thoroughly combined. Our pork chops are done in the brine, but before we mess with those, we're going to head out to the smoker and we're going to set it at 250 degrees to start getting warm. First thing we're going to do is we're going to take our chops out of our brine, and we're just going to pat them down with a paper towel just to get some of that brine off of there. Now we're just going to add a nice coat of our dry rub to the outside of our pork chops on both sides. Now whatever type of wood that you want to use in your smoker is entirely up to you. I like to go with a fruit wood, and today I'm going to go with apple just because I think pork and apple are a match made in heaven. They're a perfect pair that blend together so well. Our pork chops are seasoned, they're looking beautiful. Now we have our smoker at 250 as I mentioned. We're going to take these out and set them on the smoker. We're going to let them go for about an hour before we check on them. But we want to make sure we are maintaining that 250 degrees. So we're going to take these out and place them. And I'll see you back. For me, it's going to be an hour. For you, it will be a few seconds. All right, well, it's been an hour. And about halfway through, I flipped them. Let's check the temp. We're definitely over 140. That's perfect. Let's head on inside and get a taste of these. Now, you can plate these right onto the plate. I'm actually going to plate them on this nice serving platter. Just like this. Gonna garnish it with a little bit of fresh herbs as well. I'm gonna use some rosemary because we had it in the brine, some fresh rosemary. Just like that. Doesn't that look fantastic? Let's get a taste. Alright, let's dig in. This is so good. They're juicy. It's really tender. Seasoning on the outside really complements the pork. This is a fantastic way to do pork chops, especially if you like the smoker. You can top this with a little barbecue sauce. You can serve it with rice. I'm having mine with oven roasted red skin potatoes. I have a recipe for that. I'll drop a link for that description. Hope you enjoyed this video. So please hit that thumbs up button if you're new to the channel. Please subscribe. If you're interested in the outdoors, I'll have a link for that down in the description. I have a channel for that. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.